Imagine traveling back in time to survive 100 days on Mount Olympus. Throughout your perilous journey up the mountain, you'll encounter mythical creatures, discover epic structures, and battle ancient gods. Can you reach the summit and conquer the throne of Olympus? Stay tuned to find out. On day 1, I spawned in at the base of Mount Olympus, and had now entered the Garden of the Gods. There was plenty of wildlife and gigantic flowers. I continued and collected some wood, and crafted myself some stone tools. I then got some food from the nearby animals, and approached the base of the mountain to analyze how I'd climb it. I decided I'd look around a bit more, but while looking around, little did I know there was activity at the top of Mount Olympus, and the gods already knew that I had infiltrated. The goddess of the hunt, Artemis, went to notify the emperor.
Oh, it seems we have a visitor, Artemis. I'll give them a welcoming gift, but be a dear friend and go destroy whoever it is, just in case they survive this.
The God of Constellations, Crius, then casted a spell in an attempt to get rid of me fast. Not only that, but the goddess of the hunt was gonna make sure I didn't survive.
Yes, Crius. It will be done.
Before getting the chance to even explore, a meteor shower casted by Crius began to rain down in the Garden of the Gods. I started to run, trying to find any kind of shelter to get away from the meteors. And after a bit of running, I saw a temple. I quickly ran up to the temple and hid inside. The meteors continued to destroy the temple from the outside, but I managed to hide in the corner and survive. When night had struck, I quickly made myself a bed and went to sleep. I woke up the next day and the meteor shower had stopped, but the temple I took shelter in was in ruins. And also, our new goal is to reach 2 million subscribers, so if you enjoy the video, make sure to subscribe to be a part of my adventures. I ran outside the temple to look for food, but got stopped by a snake.
Excuse me, did you really need to draw his attention to my temple like that?
Wait, you can talk?
My name is Demeter, goddess of the harvest. I've taken the form of a serpent to assess the damage to my temple and to my garden, which you just made Crius destroy.
Sorry, I didn't.
I don't care. You made this mess. Now fix it. There are so many animals out there that are hurt from the meteors. Take this magic wheat and feed it to them to help them.
Alright, fine. No need to be so angry.
Go. Now.
After being given the divine wheat from Demeter, I looked around for animals to revive that were affected by the meteor shower. I first started by reviving some bulls that were down, and continued by reviving some deer and chipmunks. After reviving a bunch more animals for the rest of the day, I went to sleep for the night. And on the morning of day 3, after reviving a couple deer, I found a flying hippo. I have a feeling this thing isn't friendly. The flying hippo began to attack me, so I fought back with my stone axe. That hurts a lot. I had to be pretty careful with how much damage it was doing, but after keeping my distance and landing a few more hits, I defeated the flying hippo. I continued reviving the last few animals around the lake and returned back to Demeter's temple. It wasn't long until I ran back into Demeter. I saved as many animals as I could find, Demeter. Is that all?
Good. I have another job for you now. Go fill in the craters those meteors left. Oh, and bring some quartz back to fix my temple with.
Really? I kind of have to climb Mount Olympus.
And I need to have my temple repaired. Sooner rather than later, please.
I figured I might get some kind of reward after doing this, so I continued by getting some materials to patch up the craters, and went around with a bunch of dirt to patch up all the craters. Luckily, there wasn't that many to fill in, and once I was finished patching in all the craters, I noticed there was quartz embedded into the nearby boulders. So I pillared up and mined a bunch of terracotta and quartz to repair the temple with. After mining for a while, I had plenty of materials, so I returned to Demeter to give her the materials. All right, Demeter, I filled in all the craters. Can I go now?
That's great. You got the quartz from me, right?
Yep. Where do you want me to leave it?
No, silly. You need to repair my temple for me. Go on. Get to it.
So I reluctantly went up the stairs to go to the temple and began repairing the shrine. The grief was pretty extensive, affecting the pillars and the interior. After fixing the front of the shrine and the roof, all that was left was to rebuild the statue in the temple. After I finished rebuilding the statue, I decided to sleep inside the temple. But instead of waking up back inside the temple, I woke up in a wheat field. Whoa, am I in a dream? What is going on? How big is this wheat field? After looking around to try and find an exit for a while, I was stumped until I heard Demeter's voice.
Thank you for repairing my temple, mortal. That gave me enough power to bring you into my private realm. I have one more task for you. Take this bow and use it to destroy Crius's meteors before my realm is ruined.
Meteors? Oh no, I do not want to have to repair this realm too. I looked up and saw the meteors starting to fall, so I started to shoot them down one by one as they fell. There seemed to be a ton of meteors though, and some of them were getting pretty close to landing. I had to shoot them as fast as I could. After a while of shooting the meteorites, I entered phase 2. Asteroids! I switched my focus to the giant asteroids, and after shooting them all down, I destroyed the final meteorite and woke up in the temple. Whoa, that was weird. Hey, where's my bow?
I think you mean my bow. I can't allow you to have that. I will give you a gift for fixing my temple and saving my private realm, though. Please, look inside of the chest over there. You'll never go hungry again with this gift at your side.
Thank you, Demeter. I'm sure this will come in handy.
I hope it will. I've kept you here long enough, mortal. Go, stop Crius. Your world depends on it. Goodbye.
With Demeter's sight, I left the temple to start my journey up the mountain, and the climb had just begun. The next morning, I decided to test Demeter's sight, and I was able to instantly summon a field of carrots and wheat. So I harvested the crops and continued my journey up the mountain. It wasn't long until I found a cave, so I took this opportunity to mine myself some coal, iron, and craft myself some iron tools and iron armor. Now that I had some gear, I continued ascending the mountain, but during my climb, I had no idea I was being watched by Artemis, goddess of the hunt.
I've got my sights on you now, mortal. Time to die.
Artemis then cocked back her bow and started raining down arrows upon me. Luckily, I had dodged the first volley and quickly started to run to a nearby tree for cover. I started getting hit around the cover and started to dig down quickly. I knew I was gonna need to hide for a while, as the arrow shots nearly killed me. After waiting for half a day, I pillared back up and decided it'd be best to hide in the trees. However, it wasn't long till I found a Pegasus. Hey, I have some carrots. Maybe I can tame this guy. Hey, where are you going? I tried following the Pegasus around to try and tame it, but it just kept on running. Eventually, I chased it up a boulder and finally managed to tame the Pegasus. I hopped on the Pegasus and started to fly around. Now I can get up the mountain pretty easily. Let's go. With it turning night, I went to sleep, and first thing in the morning, started to fly with my Pegasus. However, it wasn't long until I started getting shot by Artemis again. I was dodging and weaving, doing my best to get cover from the arrows. I then found another cave and ran inside that for cover. I decided to mine the rest of the day so I could travel safely at nighttime with my Pegasus. After getting a bunch of ores, it had finally become nighttime, so I took the opportunity to try and climb as much as I could. However, it wasn't long until there was another obstacle in my way. At night, Crius's pet Starfall patrols Mount Olympus, and I was about to meet him for the first time. After spotting him, I tried running away, and Starfall began shooting projectiles at me. The projectile struck my Pegasus, and I tried dodging the projectiles to get away, but my Pegasus wasn't fast enough, and it was getting weaker. Oh no, this isn't good. My Pegasus! Oh man, wait, where am I? Wait a second. Aren't you?
You're alive. I should have known it would take more than a fall to kill you.
Kratos, you're alive too? After what happened with Ares, I was sure you were a goner. Be careful! No, Kratos!
Takes more than that to kill a god, Forrest. I'm weakened by my wound, and that flying monster did a number on me while I was climbing. You're lucky I was even able to drag you back to this cave.
Thank you, Kratos, but I need to go up the mountain and stop Crius. I'll have to get past that flying monster first, though.
Haha, good luck, Forrest. Give me some time to recover from my injuries, and maybe I'll be able to help you later.
So after saying goodbye to Kratos, I went to leave the cave and cautiously checked my surroundings. It wasn't too far from the cave where I found some sort of broken shrine. I approached the shrine and heard a loud noise. What was that? Whoa, there's a chest. I opened the chest to find a ton of different materials inside. Whatever summoned the chest probably wanted me to rebuild the shrine. So I took a good look at the shrine to see how I could fix it, and after trying to climb up, an eagle swooped down to attack me. Why are there so many eagles all of a sudden? I took out the eagles one by one, but they continued to swarm. I continued fighting them until nightfall and eventually defeated them all and went to sleep. The next day, I decided to try and get some string for a bow, took out some spiders and found some cobwebs. After that, I found some gravel for flint and crafted the bow and arrows I would need in case I got attacked by eagles again. I then returned to the shrine and began working on fixing it. I built up the pillars first, fixed the bookshelves, and cleared out all the vines. And after fixing the statue and clearing out the moss, I finally fixed it to its original state. After repairing the shrine, it was surrounded in particles and an angel appeared. Who are you?
Thank you, mortal. You've repaired the temple of the goddess Athena. I am an avatar of the goddess. How can I be of service?
Glad I could help. Say, there's a giant flying monster that's around here, and I'm kind of worried that it's gonna come back. Think there's any way Athena can help with that?
I do think that the power of my goddess can help. If you bring us some emeralds, I can craft them into enchanted arrows that should be able to fell any beast.
Emeralds? I'll look around and see if I can find any. Thank you for the help, though. And so I went on my quest to try and find emeralds for the avatar of Athena. I quickly found the cave that I was in before and went to ask Kratos if he knew where I could find a lot of emeralds. Hey, Kratos, how are you feeling?
I'm recovering. I should be ready for battle again in about a week.
That's great, Kratos. Do you know where I can find some emeralds, perhaps?
Emeralds? There's a cave nearby that's rich with emeralds. It's Medusa's cave, though. She's a dangerous monster. Luckily, there's plenty of amethyst in the cave. If you can find some, you can prevent her gaze from turning you into a stone.
Are you sure there's no safer way to find emeralds?
Just get some amethysts and use it to make a shield. Then you'll be fine.
Got it. See you around, Kratos. So with that new information, I exited the cave to try and find Medusa's lair. However, while exiting, I found a fork in the cave where people were turned to stone. I think this might be Medusa's doing. And there's emeralds here. It seemed like Medusa's cave was definitely gonna be a challenge, so I carefully trekked forward. What was that? For some reason, the Cloudberry was alive. So I began fighting a Cloudberry monster. I eventually shot it with my bow, and after a few shots and it poisoning me, I defeated the monster. Not only that, but I ran into amethyst golems. They did a lot of damage, but I managed to take them out, getting a bunch of amethyst to make myself an amethyst shield. Now that I had some protection against Medusa, I continued through the cave to try and find her. After looking for a while, I managed to find myself some diamonds, and then crafted myself a diamond pickaxe and axe. It wasn't long after till I found the deeper part of the cave, where the stone had turned to deep slate. My first discovery was a giant amethyst pocket, so I mined myself some extra amethyst blocks just in case, pillared out, and found some more people turned to stone. This is getting a little bit spooky. Wait, what's in there? I cautiously turned the corner to see what was there and had found Medusa's lair. I carefully entered and spotted Medusa and jumped in the water before she could spot me. I then jumped into action and the shield seemed to have worked. I began fighting Medusa and she used her bow and poisoned me. I used my diamond axe to do some damage. Medusa then screamed really loud and I almost got hit by her claws. She shot me once more and turned me to stone. I thought my shield was supposed to protect me. I managed to break out of the stone and defeated Medusa. I looked around for emeralds in the cave now that she was defeated and found a different part of the cave that had a ton of emeralds. So I mined as many emeralds as I could and got a ton of XP from it as well. I then went back through Medusa's lair to find the exit, and after about a day of traveling out of the cave, I found my way back to the surface. I looked around and made sure the coast was clear and returned back to the avatar of Athena. Hey, avatar of Athena, I got the emeralds.
Wonderful. Give them to me and I'll craft them into the special arrows.
Here you go.
Take these arrows, mortal, as well as this beacon. It will draw the beast's attention to you when you're ready to slay it.
Thanks for your help, Avatar. I'm gonna go get ready now, so take care. After receiving the emerald arrows and the beacon from the Avatar, I left to gear up some more so I could take on Starfall. I found a cave and got right to work mining lapis, diamonds, redstone, and obsidian. Once I had enough diamonds, I crafted full diamond armor and made my way back to the surface. I then crafted an enchantment table and set up an enchantment station and a little spot for me to work out of. I then enchanted my pants and chest plate with protection, smelted up some gold, and mined down a bunch of trees for wood and so I could get some apples. I then crafted 3 golden apples and started to build a watchtower so I could fight Starfall out of it. After a couple days of building, the watchtower was complete. So I went over to my enchantment table and enchanted my bow with power 2. And while starting to run back over to the watchtower, I was interrupted by the sky changing to night. Whoa, why is it turning night so fast? What is happening? A star portal had materialized out of thin air and out came Crius, the God of Constellations.
So the mortal intruder is Forrest himself. No wonder Artemis has been having trouble tracking you down. You're a slippery one.
Crius? I'm gonna stop you whatever you're up to.
Not while I have the power of the Star Relic. Soon, I'll use it to free all the other Titans from captivity. Also, my pet Starfell here will make you into good snacks so I don't have to get my hands dirty. Gotta go now. Have a nice day.
Crius then stepped back into the portal, which disappeared. And down from the mountain came Crius's pet, Starfall. With my new bow, I tried shooting Starfall and managed to stop him from swooping down to attack me. But all of a sudden, star shards started falling from the air. So I was forced to run away and dodge the falling shards. Starfall was also shooting projectiles, which I was blocking with my shield, and started to move really quick, making him difficult to hit. All right, he's halfway dead, come on. I managed to land even more bow shots onto Starfall, but Starfall began summoning star minions to attack me. Oh no, what are those?
Forrest, It looks like I'm just in time for the fun. You focus on the monster, I'll kill his minions.
Kratos, I could have used your help earlier. With Kratos coming in for the assist, I tried running to the watchtower to get cover from the minions. Kratos then sprung into action, taking out the minions, and Starfall only had a sliver of health left, so I landed the last shot and defeated Starfall. Whew, that was a close one, Kratos. After the grueling battle at Starfall, I went up to Kratos to thank him for his help. While telling Kratos how Crius had showed up in person, there was another familiar foe watching us from above.
Kratos, we thought you were dead. No matter. I'll kill you now. For Crius!
Artemis then cocked back her bow and shot fire arrows down at me and Kratos. Kratos, watch out! We need to get out of here. Someone has been shooting me with arrows this whole time. Quickly, run! With Artemis shooting explosive arrows, I quickly grabbed as much stuff as I could and started to run away with Kratos. I needed to quickly find a place to hide temporarily, so I continued running down the mountain with Kratos until we eventually found a small cave. Those arrows are starting to be a real problem, Kratos. Who's shooting all those arrows down?
That's Artemis. She's the goddess of the hunt. I'm surprised to see she joined Crius.
So, what should we do?
That stone of yours. Amethyst is a stone of magic. You should be able to deflect her arrows with it. Just don't fall while climbing.
So how are you gonna get up the mountain?
I'll find my own way up. You don't have time to dwell on it, Forrest. Go, now!
Kratos and I then parted ways and I began to climb up the mountain once again. However, this time I had to take on Artemis's arrow straight on. Before continuing up the mountain, I got myself some more food with Demeter's scythe, and after climbing for a bit longer, I saw something in the distance. It's a giant emerald crystal. I went up to the crystal to try and mine it, but before I could, I was interrupted by the sound of a bow shot.
Turn back, mortal. I won't give you any more warning shots. I'll kill you if I see you again.
I'm not running away this time, Artemis. I should probably get out of the way, though. After dodging Artemis's arrows, I began making my way up the mountain to try and push her. Using my shield to block the arrows, I closed the distance on Artemis, and she immediately ran away. Wait, where'd she go? I guess she's really fast, too. With Artemis gone for now, I decided to mine some emeralds for EXP, and after mining some emeralds for a while, I also mined myself some lapis, and mined a bit more emeralds before I continued up the mountain. I then recrafted the bookshelves I need for an enchantment station, set up a small area to do some enchanting myself Protection 3 boots, Protection 4 helmet, and an Efficiency 4 Silk Touch 1 pickaxe. With the Silk Touch 1, I packed up all my stuff and continued up the mountain, and it wasn't long till I found a massive cave. I went inside the cave to investigate, and I noticed there were soldiers everywhere, which seemed to be some sort of shrine, but the soldiers began attacking me immediately. I began taking out the soldiers one by one, and I suspected they might have been Ares' soldiers, but I wasn't sure. Either way, I fought back against the soldiers, which got me pretty low at one point, so I was forced to run and use my bow. After managing to defeat them all, I took a look around the massive shrine, but it wasn't long that I noticed someone was behind the throne. Hey, is there someone behind there? Wait, they're gone. What? Whose shrine is this? I figured the shrine must have gotten grief by those soldiers, so I worked on getting rid of the magma blocks all around the shrine. After a while, I had gotten rid of most of the magma blocks, and when I turned around, someone was standing on the throne. Hey, aren't you?
My temple, return to glory. I thank you, mortal. You're speaking now to Hephaestus, god of the forge.
I thought I saw you hiding. You're not on Crius' side, though, are you?
Of course not. That little twerp wrecked my temple.
Well, maybe you can help me stop him then. He and Artemis have been...
Say no more. Here, take this recipe and get me some of the rare minerals from deep within Olympus, and I'll give you the power of a volcano.
I'll get right on that. I'll be back soon. I then looked inside the book to see what materials I would need, and to craft it, it would take 6 ancient debris, 10 redstone blocks, 4 buckets of lava, and 1 heart of the mountain. I wasn't sure where to find the heart of the mountain, but I decided to work on making a base inside the Hephaestus shrine. After setting up my enchantment table and my chests, I walked outside the shrine and saw diamond blocks in one of the crystals. So I got the diamond blocks, crafted myself a diamond pickaxe, and got to work on getting a bunch of redstone so I could get the 10 redstone blocks needed. After that, I crafted the redstone blocks and looked around the shrine for any sort of ancient debris. Instead of finding ancient debris, I found a cave at the top of the Hephaestus shrine. I peered into the cave and realized it was a nether cave. So I cautiously went down into the cave to see if I could find any sort of ancient debris. As I ventured deeper into the cave, it opened up to be a lot larger than I had thought. So I went down to the bottom, collected the 4 lava buckets I would need, and ran into a bunch of blazes. I then defeated them all for a bunch of blaze rods, and found some soul sand and nether wart. After collecting some, I fought some magma cubes and got magma cream, and then realized there was ancient debris in the ceiling. So I mined some netherrack to be able to pillar up to it, and mined my first piece of ancient debris. I continued finding more ancient debris in the ceiling of this nether cave, and after a few days of searching, I only needed one more piece of ancient debris. However, I was struggling to find the last piece I needed. I then reached a dead end at the cave and saw some sort of nether fortress structure. Lucky for me, I found the last piece of ancient debris right above my head and went to investigate what was inside the nether fortress. Wait, this is not a nether fortress. There was a giant floating crystal in the center of the structure, which I thought must have been the heart of the mountain. So using my bow and arrow, I shot down the crystal and it burst into flames, only it didn't drop the heart of the mountain. It had summoned the heart of the mountain. Why did I think it would be that easy? I started attacking the heart of the mountain, which shot a wave of lava in my direction. When I tried attacking again, he summoned a wall of lava. He then threw down a boulder, which summoned a volcano. I used my water bucket to put myself out, and the heart of the mountain charged at me, which I barely dodged. I had him on half health now and was doing significant damage. He then blasted me away, and I took a ton of fall damage. I then started to kite around and used my bow to take out minions he had summoned. I then ate some food to regen my health and got knocked in the air again, but water bucketed to break my fall. He was on quarter HP, and I went back in for the kill. And after landing a few more hits, I defeated the heart of the mountain. Whew, that was a tough fight. Wait, what's happening? Oh no, the cave is collapsing. I gotta get out of here. With the heart of the mountain defeated, the cave began to collapse, and I needed to get out of there quickly. I began running for my life and finally found the exit and started pillaring up. I need to get out of this cave fast. I continued climbing out of the cave as lava was rising. I do not have fire resistance. I need to get out of here. With the lava right in my tail, I barely made it back to the surface. Eventually, the lava stopped flowing up, and I now had all the materials I need to give back to Hephaestus. I got you the stuff, Hephaestus, but that entire cave collapsed. You could have warned me about that.
Thank you, mortal. Go ahead and put the materials in this chest. It will take me a few days to finish. Go find something else to do so you don't get in my way.
Okay, I guess I'll be back later. I then put all the materials in the chest next to Hephaestus, and now had to wait a few days for the weapon to be crafted. In the meantime, my armor was significantly broken, and I needed to replenish my food. So with the Scythe of Demeter, I got plenty of food, crafted myself a diamond pickaxe and enchanted it with Fortune 3, got enough iron to craft myself an anvil, and got a ton of levels outside from the emerald and lapis crystals. I also got a bunch of extra diamonds from the diamond crystal outside the cave. After the iron was done smelting, I got myself the anvil and repaired all of my armor. With the soul sand I got, I planted a small netherwort farm right next to my enchantment station, crafted some brewing stands, collected a bunch of glass outside so I could craft myself a bunch of glass bottles. I then brewed myself some strength potions and fire resistances, and after I had finished brewing, Hephaestus dropped the newly crafted weapon. I then thanked him for his help and tested out my new weapon's abilities. I was able to leap in the air, give myself speed, and with every slash, I set the air on fire. Now, of course, I had to enchant this new weapon, so after getting XP, I enchanted it and got Fire Aspect 2, Sharpness 4 on Breaking 3. I also crafted myself a bunch of golden apples and began packing up all my stuff to start going up the mountain again. After receiving that weapon, I knew I'd be plenty prepared to start taking on the challenges ahead. But before I could even get started climbing, I got interrupted by Artemis.
I warned you, mortal. I'm sorry, but now you have to die.
A pack of wolves? Hey, where are you going? I had no choice but to fight the dire wolves, but luckily my new weapon was serving me really well. My weapon was doing a ton of damage to the dire wolves, which surprisingly did a lot of damage. They got me down to half health, but I managed to take them all out. The only issue was there was even more down the path. So I found myself fighting these wolves all night. After a bit more traveling though, I found myself at Artemis's temple. It was massive and had giant horse statues outside. I went inside the giant temple to see if I could find Artemis, but when I had reached the main room, she was nowhere in sight. So I had a bit of a plan to try and lure her out. I placed down a chest and got to work on stealing gold blocks from her shrine and griefing the outside statues. Lucky for me, the new scythe that I had made it pretty easy to grief all these structures. However, griefing the outside statue still wasn't enough to get her attention, so I started to go inside to grief the main room, and that was when Artemis had finally had enough.
Enough! Stay away from my altar!
I will not let you stop me from climbing to the top of Olympus, Artemis. The battle had begun and Artemis had already done significant damage. I sprung into action using the abilities of my new weapon, ate a golden apple, and went in to attack her. Even though she had a bow, she was still able to attack me with the dagger at close range, and all of a sudden, she shot a ton of arrows into the sky. Arrows came raining down all over the place, so I had to be careful where I stepped. I then ate another golden apple, but all of a sudden, Artemis shot an explosive arrow which broke the ground temporarily. I went in to try and close the distance, got knocked up, and withered. I had finally closed the distance and was doing big damage with my sight. I was getting her super low. I had her on a sliver of HP and broke my fall with my water bucket and survived Artemis's onslaught.
Wait, please. I never wanted to hurt you, or any other mortal. I had to help Crius. Apollo, my brother. He joined Crius, and I couldn't abandon my brother.
But didn't you still help Crius?
I know, but what could I have done to stop him? You, though. You can stop him. Please, take my bow and use it to take down Crius.
Wait, Artemis, do you know if...
Fuck, mortal.
Oh man, she's gone. The great bow of Artemis was stacked with enchantments and possessed all the unique abilities she was using on me in the fight. I was definitely excited to test out the bow. So I made my way out of the temple and felt kinda bad griefing the front two statues. So I grabbed the materials out of the chest and spent a couple days restoring the front of the temple. After that was complete, I resumed my journey up the mountain. After another day of travel, I reached the next layer of Mount Olympus. The sky had changed to an orange color, and there were glowstone and magma crystals in front of me. But I was immediately confronted by Ares' soldiers. Now was the time to test Artemis's bow. The explosive arrow shot provided devastating area of effect damage, and it wasn't long till I wiped out Ares' soldiers. With there being a glowstone crystal, I decided to get a bunch of glowstone for brewing later. After getting all the glowstone I needed, I continued up the mountain and fought through more of Ares' soldiers, but also was dealing with magma cubes and blazes. After dealing with all the mobs, I saw a temple in the distance. It was massive, so I decided to create a base of operations before I went and tackled the temple. I made a small base inside a nearby boulder, set up a brewing and enchantment station, and then went to approach the temple, and Ares' soldiers were swarming around the front. I started taking them out, but it looked like they were fighting a bunch of fire elementals. I continued using my bow to take out the soldiers, and went upstairs to try and get a better look at what was happening inside. Once I was inside, I was confronted by lava stone golems, so I took those out, and in the back room, there was dozens of fire elementals. Using Hephaestus' flame, I took them all out. In the back room, I managed to find some melons, and even found a bunch of gold at the top of the shrine. I mined all the gold blocks, and after I finished pillaging everything, I went back to the front of the temple and saw someone massive approaching. Deimos, why are you here?
The god of terror in the flesh. I'm here to stop Crius, mortal.
Are you sure you're not on his side?
I'm looking for the star relic. I'm going to destroy it and watch Crius' dreams crumble.
Really? Do you know where it is? Maybe I can help you find it.
You? Help. Maybe I'll allow you to live after Crius is dealt with. The relic is here somewhere, probably hidden in a nearby cave. Good luck finding it, mortal.
And just like that, the god of terror disappeared. But now I knew there was a star relic that I needed to find. So I returned back to my base and started working on brewing myself some instant health 2 potions. I also repaired all of my armor and went outside to look for the cave. And lucky for me, I did not have to venture very far. There was a mysterious black stone and crying obsidian cave right next to my base. It was surprisingly dark, and there seemed to be some sort of portal at the bottom. I jumped down to investigate it further and decided to jump into the portal. Whoa, I blacked out for a second. Wait, this isn't the end? Why am I in the nether? Oh no, that gate just closed. Is this where the star relic is? I began battling the giant piglin brutes that were guarding the front of the bridge. I knocked them back with Artemis's bow, but they did significant damage. It hit me down to 3 hearts, forcing me to use potions. I quickly ran to the front of the bridge and defeated one, and finished off the second. Wait a second, this looks an awful lot like Tartarus. Being in Tartarus, there was a good chance the star relic was gonna be here. I just had to look around to find it. But being in Tartarus posed some other challenges. I ran into some more enemies, which I took out pretty easily. I found a shulker box in one of the corners. I then found a bridge that piglins were guarding, and I knew I needed to try and get past them. Using my scythe, I took them all out, continued up further, and had to fight even more. I then stumbled into another giant piglin guardian and used my Artemis bow to take the rest out. Eventually, I stumbled upon a giant mansion. I went inside and found speed and poison potions, and continued checking all the rooms inside the mansion. The chests were empty though, so I left the mansion and went to go explore. After climbing up even further into the city, I found a mysterious gated off area. After getting past that, I went up the stairs and saw the star relic. Only a strange creature was guarding it.
Mortal, stop where you are. Turn around and leave.
I don't think so. I'm going to destroy the star relic and stop Crius's plans.
You are making a huge mistake, mortal.
I knew I needed to destroy the star relic, but the goat demon was attacking me. All of a sudden, he started raining down meteors and I couldn't move. I quickly ran off to go heal and had to dodge the falling meteors. After the meteors stopped, I went in to do more damage, but he got into the air again and started dropping even more. Those meteors are really annoying. The goat demon eventually came back down and I closed the distance to do some more damage. He knocked me up though and I had to heal myself, but I managed to stun the goat demon and do a ton of damage. I landed a couple of bow shots while he was flying, but got hit multiple times by the meteors. I just got straight juggled. He then dashed forward and I barely dodged his attack. I then backed up to eat some more food and finally had him on low HP. The goat demon finally came back down and I landed the final few hits. You know, you could have made this easier on yourself. With the goat demon out of the way, I approached the star relic. All right, here goes nothing. All right, it's exploding. That's a really big explosion. I can't see. Whoa, am I back on the surface? Wait, Crius?
Bravo, Forrest. I cannot believe you fell for that.
Crius? Fell for what? What are you talking about?
That star relic you just broke? That was called the Titan Seal. It can only be broken, well, by a mortal, just like you. I can't believe that Timos convinced you to do it so easily.
Titan Seal? That can't be true. Even if it is, I'm still gonna stop you.
Sure you won't. Anyways, I don't really need you anymore, so have a nice death. Ciao.
Hey, I can't move. Oh no, what is that? Crius's giant moon created a massive crater, and Crius, certain that he had killed me, summoned a portal and returned back to his throne. There was only one thing he didn't account for, that I would be saved by another god. A strange aura surrounded my body and I woke up with absorption. Man, what happened? I can't believe I survived that. I tried digging out of the meteor, but I had severe mining fatigue. So I tried digging myself out of the meteor, but it was gonna take a while. After about a day of digging with the mining fatigue, I finally found my way out of the meteor. As I was climbing out of the crater, I was confronted by a new hostile mob. They were fire axolotls, and they did a ton of damage, forcing me to use potions. So I ran away and used my bow to take them out. After taking them all out, I went back inside my base, brewed some fire resistance potions, and more instant health potions. Lastly, I brewed strength potions and repaired all my armor. I then harvested a bunch of carrots and crafted a stack of golden carrots. I then used the Scythe of Demeter to turn the burnt trees into normal trees and mined the leaves for apples. I crafted myself 10 golden apples, and with the shulker box I had gotten from Tartarus, I started packing all my belongings. After I finished packing up the enchantment station and everything else, I resumed my journey up the mountain. Only a day later, I found another temple, but this one was in ruins. I went to approach the temple and saw a familiar foe. I walked up for a closer look and found Kratos there as well. Kratos, Zeus, what are you doing here?
Trying to get to the top of this mountain, just like you.
Trying to reclaim my home. Why else would I be here?
Kratos, Zeus, I know you're in there. Are you ready to die?
Deimos, is this his temple? Oh no, Zeus, do something!
I'm weakened, Forrest, and I won't be killed here. I'll enchant your bow with my power, but I must leave.
I quickly handed over my bow to Zeus to enchant it. He then handed it back, and Zeus then disappeared in a wave of lightning.
I'll handle Deimos. You climb up the mountain. Tread carefully.
Kratos then sprung into action against Deimos, allowing me to slip out the back entrance. I better get out of here quick.
Deimos, today you perish.
I'll make your death slow for you, Kratos.
The two continued to fight as I ran away up the mountain, and all of a sudden, a storm of black clouds started to circle above them. I need to get out of here fast. I ran for my life up the mountain to get away as fast as I could. After about a day of running up the mountain, the coast was clear, so I looked at my bow, which had Thundershot 5 on it now. I ended up running into a bear, which was the perfect time to test my bow, and it was able to strike lightning, making it even stronger, and I defeated the Arctic bear with ease. The terrain started to have snow and ice everywhere, and I also noticed a giant shrine in the distance. But when I went to go climb up to it, an avalanche came raining down. Oh no, I need to run! I tried running from the avalanche, but then got flung off the mountain. Where's my water bucket? Wait, What? Did I just land on a cloud? Is that a seal? Somehow I ended up landing on a cloud which barely saved me. Thanks for saving me, little seal.
You don't recognize me? It's me, Cloudberry.
Cloudberry? It's been a long time. I didn't recognize you.
I've lost a lot of weight since you weren't feeding me.
Listen, I'd love to catch up, but could you take me back up the mountain? Got important business to attend to.
I'll take you back up, but you'd better get me some fish.
Sounds like a good deal to me. And so, Cloudberry the seal and I hopped back on the cloud and started making our way back up the mountain. After about a day, we finally landed back at the top. But with it being nighttime, Crius's minions were lurking. So I confronted the minions, using Artemis's bow, took one out, and used my scythe to take out the rest. It ended up taking a couple days to get back up the mountain, as we landed a little bit further down than we wanted, but I finally made my way back to the shrine, which was a giant angel statue, but it was half destroyed. I went to go inspect the shrine to see if there was any clues, but suspected Crius was probably the culprit. I decided it'd be a good idea to try and repair the shrine, so after mining snow for a couple days, I had plenty of snow to start repairing the shrine. All I had to do was copy the other wing like it was on the right side, and fill in the holes in the base of the shrine. And after a few days of repairing it, the shrine was restored to its original state. After repairing it, a beacon had lit up at the top of the shrine, and at the bottom, a small angel had appeared. Who are you?
My temple is restored. Thank you, mortal. That means that there's still time to stop Crius. But where are my manners? My name is Hera, Queen of Olympus.
It's nice to meet you, Hera. I'm Forrest. So, do you have any plans to stop Crius?
The gods would regret sharing this knowledge, but there is a way to remove the power of a god. Please, bring me 3 sacred flowers that grow atop Olympus. I can use them to create a weapon that can stop Crius.
Great, so what kind of flowers do I need?
I'll need a rare allium, a withering rose, and the sacred lily of the valley. The first 2 shouldn't be difficult for you, but only one that's pure of heart can pick the sacred lily.
Right, I'll see what I can do, Hera.
Please hurry. I don't look forward to what Crius has planned if he succeeds.
The angel then disappeared, and a chest appeared where she was standing. I opened the chest, which contained a book called Flowers of Olympus. It described the location of all 3 flowers I would need. I then bribed Cloudberry with some fish to take me back down to the base of the mountain. She agreed, so we returned to her cloud and made our way back down to the base of the mountain. It took us a few days, but we eventually found the allium and had 2 more special flowers to go. But I took a quick pit stop to get some fish for Cloudberry. Next up on the list was the Wither Rose, so we returned to the nether layer of Mount Olympus and began looking for the Wither Rose. After looking for a while, I found my way back to Deimos' temple and saw a Wither Rose on top of the giant netherrack structure. So I pillared all the way up and picked the Wither Rose. But when I looked around, I noticed Kratos was at the bottom of the ruined temple. I quickly ran down to check on Kratos, and luckily he was still alive. Kratos, did you beat Deimos?
The coward ran. He always runs.
Well, that's unfortunate. I actually just met Hera. She says she has a plan to stop Crius. I'm looking for 3 flowers to make something to stop him. Can you meet me at her temple later?
I'm in. I'll head there as soon as I'm done clearing these minions.
So with Kratos promising to meet back up with us later, Cloudberry and I spent a few days to return to Hera's temple. The last location of the Lily of the Valley was said to be even higher up Mount Olympus. So we continued past Hera's shrine and ended up finding a giant temple. We approached the giant temple and Zeus came running out. So I approached Zeus to ask him for his help. Hey Zeus, Hera told me how we can beat Crius. Are you going to come help or what?
Of course not. My power is still regenerating, and I'm not going to risk my life for a mortal. There's no stopping Crius's plans.
Wow, you're pretty cowardly, aren't you?
Watch your tone, mortal. Do yourself a favor and leave now.
Suit yourself, Zeus.
You stand no chance, mortal. Climb back down the mountain if you value your life.
So with Zeus not willing to help, I continued back up the mountain to ask Cloudberry a favor. Hey Cloudberry, I'll need your help for this next flower. Think you could do me a favor for a fish?
Okay, but only if you get me a lot. What do you need?
I need you to go up the mountain and find a special flower called the Sacred Lily. Think you could do that while I make some preparations to fight Crius?
Okay, that should be easy. I'll be back soon. Fish, fish, fish. I want fish.
Well, hopefully she can find it. So after sending Cloudberry on that mission to find the flower, I went ice fishing so I'd have fish for her later and started making preparations for a plan I had to distract Crius. I spent some time getting a bunch of hay bales with my Scythometer, and it wasn't too long until Cloudberry came running down the mountain, and Cloudberry gave me the last flower. Wow, you actually found it. All right, as promised, here's your fish, Cloudberry.
Oh boy.
Thanks, Cloudberry. I'm gonna head to Hera's temple. You can follow me there if you want to.
Yeah, whatever. after I finished my fish.
So I left Cloudberry to eat the fish, and after about a day, returned to Hera's shrine. Except Kratos and Cloudberry were already there. How'd you get back so fast, Cloudberry? I found all 3 flowers that you wanted me to find.
Wonderful. Please place the flowers in the chest in front of my altar.
So I put all 3 flowers inside the chest, and Hera then took the 3 flowers and brewed a potion.
It is done. You'll need to take it up high into the sky and spread the elixir down over the palace. Any god in the vicinity will lose their power.
High up, but I can't fly.
I can fly, but I don't have thumbs. I can't open the bottle or sprinkle it.
I'll do it. As long as the fuzzy creatures can fly me up.
I can do that if he's not too heavy.
It's settled then. Kratos and Cloudberry will fly up and use the elixir. I'll distract Crius so he doesn't stop you.
All 3 of you will need to act perfectly and quickly. We don't have much time until Crius finishes his plan. Go and save us all.
So I took the potion of divine weakness out of the chest and entrusted it to Kratos. Then Kratos, Cloudberry, and I started making our way up the mountain. We continued past Zeus's temple, and after a few days of climbing the sheer cliffs of Olympus, we finally reached the very top, and Crius' temple came into view. So this is Crius' temple. So here's the plan. I'll run out and create a distraction while you 2 run in. On my signal, you'll go. I knew I didn't have much time to set it up, so I quickly started placing down hay bales and started setting them ablaze. The fire created a large cloud of smoke, which signaled Crius, and he showed up in the flesh. He immediately started to cast down meteors on me, and I started to run away. Go now, Kratos! I continued dodging the meteors, and Kratos and Cloudberry made a run for it. They reached the front of the temple and ran inside. I was still dodging meteors and keeping Crius busy, and Crius turned to me and said,
Stop dodging my meteors! This is really uncool, my guy. Let me introduce you to my friend.
Crius then started casting a spell, and a star began appearing above my head. What is that? The star began emitting energy and outspawned a giant monster.
Now kill him!
Crius then left through the portal. I began shooting the giant Star Destroyer with my Artemis bow and was doing pretty big damage. I needed to take it out fast so I wasn't drained of my resources. I then dodged a giant beam and continued firing arrows at the beast. I then got hit by one of the giant beams, ate some food, and continued firing shots. The Star Destroyer was on a quarter of HP, and I dodged another giant beam. I had it on a sliver of HP, destroyed one of its meteors, and defeated the Star Destroyer. I then ran inside Crius' temple and saw what looked like a portal. What is this? I'm floating. I then started floating up and was teleported to the top of the temple. There was a giant bridge which was connected to a giant cloud. I continued following the bridge, and on day 100, I found Crius' temple. I walked inside and saw Crius by the throne. I then walked up to confront Crius. Crius, you're done. Wait, is that Cloudberry?
Sorry, Forrest. Couldn't resist the fish.
You thought your plan would work? Come on now. I'm the god of the constellations. The stars and cells bend to my will. Stopping your little seal was the easiest thing I've ever done. Like ever. With any luck, my minions have already ripped Kratos apart. Now I just need to deal, well, with you. And I'll win.
Crius then walked through a portal and disappeared. Dang it. You couldn't have gone far. Let me get you out of there, Cloudberry. I then broke Cloudberry out of the cell, turned around, and noticed another elevator. So I walked up to it, and Cloudberry and I started floating up the temple. I landed on the 2nd story and went up the steps. I then walked into the meeting room of Olympus. Crius was standing in front of one of the thrones, and all of a sudden, Crius casted a spell which blew the roof off the temple. The blocks got sucked into a black hole, revealing asteroids all around Olympus. The battle had begun, and Crius casted a giant beam, which I managed to block with my shield. I went in and started landing a bunch of attacks with my blade. He then started casting down meteorites and summoned the giant swan. It was the Cygnus constellation, and I went and took it out. I then blocked another one of his beams, and he continued to rain down meteorites. So I backed up to eat another golden apple and kept on shooting Crius with my bow. However, all of a sudden, water began rising. What is going on? He had invoked the constellation of Aquarius, and lucky for me, I had Depth Strider on my boots so I could move around pretty easily. I continued doing damage to Crius while blocking his attacks, but then got knocked in the air. Oh my gosh, that was a close one. I kited away, continuing to shoot him with Artemis's bow, and went back in to do more melee damage. Celestial shards began raining down and doing a lot of damage. I ran for my life and dodged the celestial shards. I was running out of potions and placed down my shulker to get some backup potions and golden apples. This was the last of my supplies. I had to be really careful about running out of potions. All of a sudden, Crius had disappeared, and I got locked in place. But Crius had reappeared and began laughing.
Oh, it's done. It's done. You came close, Forrest. I commend you for your efforts. But my Titan brothers and sisters are freed. A new order will rule not just Olympus, but this entire world.
The ancient Titans were freed and scattered across the universe. The fight had resumed again, and I wasn't gonna give up. I knew Crius was weakened. I ran away from the beam, ate another golden apple, and went in to try and finish off Crius. He knocked me back though, and my helmet was broken. I was quickly running out of healing, and meteors continued to rain down. He knocked me in the air again. I took some damage and went back in. Come on, I'm so close. I think I did it. No, what is this? I can't move.
Whoa! What's happening? I was taking a nap!
Why did it have to end like this? Although I wasn't conscious, I found myself floating through space-time, with my next destination unknown. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and have a great day.